倒没有，对。校长有，国教署的没有。那顺序要怎么样？我的顺序会是4讲院士，然后第1位土耳其的代表，美国代表、瑞士代表、突尼西亚代表，第2位土耳其的代表，然后黄委员，国教署，对。董事长会是在馆长前面，倒数第2位，院士是第2位。对，没有，就是没有俄罗斯的里面，2位校长都有。对，是建中先，然后李想，在董事长，最后在馆长，所以主秘加在馆长后面。我刚刚有找土耳其的确认一下，但是那个突尼西亚的我还没确认过。我是念 Cotton Islamic， 我不确定，还是我去问土耳其，去问突尼西亚。对。好，各位贵宾，大家好。今天的活动将在2分钟之后开始，请尽速就座。Ladies and gentlemen, today's ceremony will begin in 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, thank you. 各位贵宾，大家好，欢迎各位莅临2019年台湾国际科学展览会开幕典礼暨大师讲座。我们的活动将在1分钟之后正式开始，请将手机调为静音或是转为震动模式，并且尽速就座。安全疏散方向在各位的左右两侧，请由最近的入口依序离开。Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the opening ceremony and keynote speech of 2019 Taiwan International Science Fair. Our ceremony will begin in 1 minute. Please turn your cell phone off to vibration mode, and please be seated. The exits are located on your left and right-hand side. In case of an unlikely emergency, please leave the venue through the exit closest to you. Thank you. 各位来宾，大家好，欢迎莅临2019年台湾国际科学展览会开幕典礼暨大师讲座。Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the opening ceremony and keynote speech of 2019 Taiwan International Science Fair. 台湾国际科学展览会起源于1991年所办理的中华民国参加国际科学展览活动国内选拔赛，2002年转型为台湾国际科学展览会。邀请国外师生一同来台观摩交流，更借此展览会评选出优秀作品，选派为我国代表队参加国际的科展活动。而历年来代表国家参展的学生们表现都非常的优异，不仅使我国科学教育成果备受国际瞩目与肯定，更增强了我国在国际上的能见度，并且巩固了科学教育的地位。So the Taiwan International Science Fair can trace its roots back to 1991, and in 2002, it transitioned into its modern-day form, where we invite students and teachers from all around the world to participate and exchange with us. And through these events, we will also select the winning projects and students to represent our country in international science fairs. Over the years, our students have performed outstandingly, and their performance have won our country recognition from around the world and also boosted our visibility in the international arena. 2019年台湾国际科学展览会合计国内外约21个国家地区500位参展师生，162件优胜作品进入决赛。本年预计会选出各科1等、2等以及3等，还有4等奖的优胜作品，然后另外还会再从1等、2等以及3等奖的作品当中，再选拔出代表作品，代表我国参加国际科学展览活动。So in this year's International Science Fair, we have 162 projects from 21 countries and about 500 students and teachers.So this year, we will select from each category winners of first, second, third, and fourth prizes. And the winners of first, second, or third prize will also be eligible, and they will be selected to represent Taiwan in international science fairs. 今天典礼一开始，就让我们先来欣赏一段表演。我们邀请到异想台湾剧团为我们带来的战浪节目。他们以台湾正头战鼓为主，融入了电音、现代舞、武术、极限肢体等元素，在波涛汹涌的大浪之中，以无畏无惧、永不放弃的台湾精神，呈现出唐山过台湾、6去3留一回头的悲壮与勇气。So to kick off today's ceremony, we have the performance presented to us by Fervor Taiwan. The routine incorporates elements from traditional Taiwanese drums, electro music,
modern dancing, martial arts, and gymnastics. And they symbolize the Taiwan spirit of being fearless and never giving up. 所以接下来就让我们一起掌声欢迎他们的表演。Let's welcome them. 好，表演实在是非常精彩，让我们掌声谢谢他们。Thank you for an excellent performance。现在就让我们欢迎这次所有参加2019台湾国际科学展览会的各国学生代表进场。他们都是各国选拔出来的佼佼者，将在这次国际科学展览会中角逐各项荣誉。现在我们将会依英文字母的顺序，由各国学生代表穿着由他们自己亲手彩绘的实验袍进场。他们都已经准备好喽。So now, without further ado, we are going to welcome all the participating students or representatives of each country in this year's Taiwan International Science Fair. They're all the best of the best and creme de la crop from their country, and we are going to introduce them in alphabetical order by the country that they represent. And they are going to be entering onto the stage wearing the lab coats that they painted themselves. 所以接下来就让我们以最热烈的掌声欢迎他们吧！让我们掌声欢迎，首先进场的是加拿大 from Canada。接下来是印尼 from Indonesia。接下来是意大利 from Italy。接下来是日本 from Japan。接下来是韩国 from Korea。接下来是卢森堡 from Luxembourg。接下来是澳门 from Macau。接下来是马来西亚 from Malaysia。接下来是墨西哥 from Mexico。接下来是纽西兰 from New Zealand。接下来是菲律宾 from the Philippines。接下来是俄罗斯 from Russia。接下来是沙烏地阿拉伯 from Saudi Arabia。接下来是新加坡 from Singapore。接下来是南非 from South Africa。接下来是瑞士 from Switzerland。接下来是泰国 from Thailand。接下来是突尼西亚 from Tunisia。接下来是土耳其 from Turkey。接下来是美国 from the United States of America。最后进场的是地主国中华民国 ，last but not the least, representing the home crowd from the Republic of China。好，请大家用掌声为他们加油，也请代表同学往舞台中间靠拢合影，秀出你的彩绘衣。接下来我们请次长、馆长、院士 以及第一排的贵宾也上前跟学生们一起合影。Now we would like to invite the Deputy Minister, the Director, and the academician to come onto the stage, and also all the VIPs from the first row, please come onto the stage to take a group photo with the students. 好，谢谢各位同学，诚挚欢迎你们的参与，也请各位长官、贵宾们回座。So thank you all. Please return to your seat. 今天我们很荣幸可以邀请到几位嘉宾来到现场，他们都是以行动支持我国科学教育的推手以及国外贵宾代表。Now we are very honored to have some of the most important VIPs with us today. 那么也请接下来介绍的贵宾们起身与大家挥手。If I call your name, please stand up and wave to everyone. 首先，我们第一位要介绍的是教育部林腾蛟次长 ，Deputy Minister of Education, Mr. 林腾蛟。中央研究院牟中元院士 ，Academician of Academia Sinica, Dr. 牟中元。驻台北土耳其贸易办事处巴木恩代表 ，Turkish Trade Office in Taipei Representative Mr. Murat Baklaci。美国科学服务社经理 Sharon Snyder 女士 ，Ms. Sharon Snyder from the United States Society for Science and the Public。瑞士代表 Svetlana Hagar 女士 ，Ms. Svetlana Hagar from Switzerland。突尼西亚代表 Mr. Hatem Slimane, Mr. Hatem Slimane, representative of Tunisia. 土耳其代表 Aksen Ertaştan, Aksen Ertaştan, representative of Turkey. 俄罗斯经济文化合作协调委员会台北副代表 Mr. Vadim Kovardiev from Russia. 教育部国民及学前教署黄淑仪专门委员 K-12 Education Administration Ms. 黄淑仪，台北市立建国高级中学徐建国校长 Principal of Taipei Municipal 建国 Senior High School Mr. 徐建国，台北市立立山高级中学柯明树校长Mr. 柯明树 Principal of Taipei Municipal Lishan Senior High School。印象有限公司郑金杯董事长 Mr. 郑金杯 Chair of Image Corporation。国立台湾科学教育馆陈雪玉馆长 Director of National Taiwan Science Education Center Ms. 陈雪玉，以及国立台湾科学教育馆曾聪邦主秘 Chief Secretary Mr. 曾聪邦 of National Taiwan Science Education Center。我们感谢各位百忙之中还拨空参与我们今天的盛会。Thank you for taking the time out of your day to come to today's ceremony。现在就让我们欢迎积极参与并且带领国内科学教育发展的教育部长官为我们的活动致辞勉励。让我们欢迎教育部的林腾蛟次长。Now we would like to invite Deputy Minister of Education, Mr. 林腾蛟, to give us the opening remark.
国立台湾科学教育馆陈馆长，中央研究院牟中元牟院士， 各位贵宾、各位师长，还有各位同学，大家早安，大家好。
好 ，Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, good morning.
今天非常高兴代表教育部欢迎来自各国的各位的科学的同学呢，来参加本次呢2019台湾国际科学展览会的活动。
Today, I'm very happy to be here on behalf of the Ministry of Education to welcome you all to come to the opening ceremony of 2019 Taiwan International Science Fair.
本项展览会活动到现在呢，已经办理了18年。那么每一次的办理呢，那么参加的国家跟参加的学生人数屡创新高。
So we've been holding this event for the past 18 years, and every year we see the number of participating students and also countries grow every year.
今年台湾国内呢，总共呢有435位的学生参加报名。那么经过第一阶段的选拔呢，有222位的学生获得到参加这一次的复赛。
So in this year's science fair, there are 435 students from Taiwan who registered and signed up for the first round of the competition. And through the first round of competition, 222 students made it to the final round.
与来自20个国家、56个国外的学生呢，大家一起来参加这样子的比赛，进行科学研究的一个交流。
And they are going to compete with 52 students from over 20 countries in this year's event, where they will exchange and also compete in scientific ideas.
我代表教育部呢，祝福呢我们2019台湾科学展览会的活动顺利圆满。
So on behalf of the Ministry of Education, I would like to wish today's event every success.
科学教育是台湾非常重要的教育一环。我们向来也非常重视学校科学教育的推动与发展。
Science education has been a very important part of Taiwan's education, and we have always emphasized on this fact.
不仅推动呢普及型的科学教育，同时呢，我们也希望能够培养优秀的科学研究的学生。
Not only are we trying to broaden the scope of our science education, we're also trying to train the best of the best in the scientific fields.
也希望呢，我们的学生呢，能够跟国际来做一些交流跟接轨。
And we've always liked to see our students exchange and interact with students from abroad.
台湾国际科学展览会就是提供这样子的一个平台。让我们学生呢，能够跟来自各国的学生，能够呢透过科学研究彼此来做一些的交流，拓展国际的视野，培养世界国际观。
So Taiwan International Science Fair is one such platform where students from Taiwan can exchange and interact with students from abroad through scientific research, so that they can broaden their vision and gain more worldview.
所以也非常期待。那么在本周的展览会的这个活动办理期间，希望我们在座的所有的各位同学，能够呢透过这样子的一个展览会，彼此呢来进行这个交流。
So hopefully through this week's event, all students, domestic or abroad, can take this opportunity to learn from each other.
彼此分享科学研究的经验。同时呢，也能够呢接触了解不同的一个文化。
You can share your ideas in scientific research together, and also exchange your cultures.
同时呢，拓展了国际的一个视野，能够呢为未来的科学研究呢打下更好、更多的基础。
And I hope that you can lay down a more solid foundation for future research.
今年呢，刚好也是元素周期表建立。到现在呢，满150周年。
This year also marks the 150th year of the periodic table.
所以呢，我们也特别邀请我们中央研究院魔中原魔院士来到场呢，帮我们做大师的讲座。
And that's why we have from Academia Sinica, academic Dr. Mo Zhongyuan to talk about this topic.
分享影响深远的核子科学的发现跟发展。
And he's going to talk about a key person in nuclear research.
我相信对于我们在座的同学，在科学研究的方面呢，一定会有很大的启发跟注意。
And I'm sure this talk is going to be very insightful and helpful to all the students here today.
期待呢，我们本周的科学展览会呢，那么能够呢，非常顺利圆满，也期待我们每一位的同学呢，能够透过这样子的一个科学展览会，那么能够呢不断的精进，再接再厉，那么能够精进发展。
And again, I wish this week's science fair every success. I also hope that all participating students can again learn from each other and elevate your knowledge in scientific research.
也祝福呢来自各国的老师跟同学，那么在台湾的这段时间里面，也都能够有一个非常充实而且非常丰富的台湾经验。
And I hope that all our guests from abroad can enjoy your stay while you're here in Taiwan and have a very fruitful experience.
最后呢，祝福大家新的一年新年愉快，同时呢，也祝福呢本次展览会顺利圆满。
And again, I would like to wish you all a happy new year, and I wish this week's event every success.
谢谢大家 ，Thank you very much.
好，谢谢部长。那么现在我们就要有请主办单位国立台湾科学教育馆的馆长陈雪玉馆长来为我们欢迎致辞。Now we're going to welcome Director of the National Taiwan Science Education Center, Ms. Chen Xueyu, to give us her opening remark.
Good morning, Deputy Minister Lin, Academic Shi Mo, Chairman Zheng, Principal Xu, Embassy representatives, distinguished guests, and all participants. On behalf of the National Taiwan Science Education Center, I would like to extend my sincere welcome to all of you coming from so many different places, especially those who have traveled a long distance to be here. We are very delighted to have you with us for the Taiwan International Science Fair this year. Thank you all for coming. It has been 2 decades since the Taiwan International Science Fair, TSF, diverged from the National Private High School Science Fair. We have selected outstanding projects and students from this platform to prepare them for stepping on the world stage, providing them the opportunities to exchange ideas with other remarkable young scientists all over the world. At this time of the year, the best high school students gather here to share their research results. This year, we have 501 participants, 162 projects, and 21 countries and regions in total. The number of participating country projects and participants have continued to grow over the past few years. 2019 is the 150th anniversary of the periodical table's creation by Dmitry Mendeleev. The development of the periodical table of chemical elements is one of the most significant achievements in the history of science and uniting scientific concept with broad implications in astronomy, chemistry, physics, biology, and other branches of natural science. The United Nations has designated 2019 as the International Year of the Periodical Table, A lot of celebration will take place this year all around the globe. Thus, the image on the periodical table is included in the design of this year's T7 imaging, symbolizing the importance of the application of each element in science and daily life. Moreover, the academic Seneca, Professor Moore, will give a keynote speech later with the title Marie Curie and the Development of Nuclear Science, speaking from the extraordinary life of Marie Curie to indicate the significant impact of nuclear science on today's society. TSF has proven that girls perform equally well as boys. In order to enlighten females' achievements in science research, a new special exhibition, Design Our World, Generate Innovations, was curated by NTSEC to showcase many stories of outstanding female scientists in history through the thinking of generate innovation and activities consisting of design challenges in the exhibition. We would like to encourage you to rethink perspectives we used to neglect in the past and make the world more equal and sustainable. As the Mentary Mendeleev said, knowing how contented, free, and joyful is life in the world of science, one fervently wish that many would enter its portals. I believe that you have all experiences how joyful it is when you do your science project. I urge you to understand yourself, to have confidence in yourself. Prepare yourself to be challenged, excited, and inspired in the next few days. Enjoy every single day during the science fair. Thank you very much. Thank you.
好，我们谢谢陈馆长。我们也希望透过科教馆的规划及努力，可以帮助更多对科学有兴趣的学生投入研究的领域。So thank you, Ms. Chen. We would like to, through the endeavors and efforts of the National Taiwan Science Education Center, attract more students who are interested in the field of science. 接下来我们要进行的就是我相信各位都非常期待的大师讲座。台湾国际科学展每年为了要添增活动的丰富程度，并且拓展国内外学子的视野，自从2009年开始，就于开幕典礼期间新增了一项分享，也就是说我们会邀请国内科学界或者是科技界的创意大师或者是翘楚来跟我们分享其研究还有学习过程当中值得年轻人参考的一些经验。举例来说，像是研究成果、对环境以及人文的关怀、创意思考等等，也是足以影响其人生转弯的宝贵经验。So next up, I'm sure this is something that we are all looking forward to, which is Meet the Scientist keynote speech. So the Taiwan International Science Fair since 2009 has invited important keynote speakers from the field of science to come to the opening ceremony to give us and share with us his or her experience in scientific research. And we are sure that through their sharing, the youngsters or the students here today can really learn from their past experience. 所以今年我们非常荣幸可以邀请到的是中央研究院的牟中元院士，我们真的非常非常的高兴。So this year we are very honored to have Dr. 牟中元, academician of Academia Sinica, to come to the talk with us today. 牟老师毕业于美国华盛顿大学，取得博士学位之后，曾在美国奥勒冈大学担任博士后研究，之后才回到国内担任台湾大学化学系的教授，直至今日。 毛老师的研究范围遍及物理、化学以及奈米科技等，并曾多次获得国科会的杰出研究奖以及多项国内外研究方面的奖励。So Dr. Mo graduated from the University of Washington in the United States, and after getting his PhD degree at the University of Oregon, he did his postdoc research at Oregon, he came back to Taiwan and became a professor of chemistry at National Taiwan University. His research encompasses fields including physics, chemistry, and nanotechnology, and he has won numerous awards and accolades from both Taiwan and international awards. 毛老师说过，好奇心是引发他探索新事物的动力。他从来不会以获奖为他的研究目的。他把研究跟探索新事物当成是自己的一项兴趣，一旦对自己的工作有了兴趣之后呢，自然而然也就不会倦怠，进而可以做出许多不错的研究。So Dr. Mo once said that the reason why he did all these research is because of his curiosity. He never does research for the sake of getting an award. Once you're interested about something, of course you will be driven by it, and that's why you can have good research. 今年是国际周期表年，也就是国际这个周期表制定的150周年。提到周期表，大家一定会想到一位非常伟大的女性科学家，也就是居里夫人。她发现了放射性元素钋和镭这两项引领了20世纪核化学和物理学的革命的元素。So this year marks the 150th year of the periodic table. And speaking of periodic table, I'm sure a lot of you will think of Madame Marie Curie. She was the one who discovered elements such as polonium and radium, and these two elements have been instrumental in the development of nuclear science and physics in the 20th century. 所以今天某院士要我们演讲的主题就是居里夫人与核子科学的发展，谈其一生其成就，在科学界里创下华丽并且鼓舞人心的一页。这一课呢，我们相信特别值得各位年轻的未来的科学家们一起来聆听。So today, Dr. Mo is going to talk to us about Marie Curie and the development of nuclear science. We're sure that this talk is going to be very inspiring and insightful to all future scientists. 所以接下来事不宜迟，就让我们以热烈的掌声一起欢迎魔院士。Now, without further ado, let's welcome Dr. 魔中元。
Hello, good morning. Director Chen, distinguished guests, and all future scientists. It's my great honor to give you a talk this morning in this great event. 2019, as you know, is marked the 150th anniversary of periodic table. And that's the foundation of modern chemistry. I cannot talk all these elements, of course. I choose to talk about radioactive elements. That's the elements started by Marie Curie that create a century of great discovery in new elements and nuclear science. I hope through this talk you can learn few things. First, through the extraordinary life of Marie Curie, you learn a story about inspirational work of truly great scientists. And she led the discovery in nuclear science, nuclear physics, nuclear chemistry, but also she inspired all the female students throughout the world and led foundation for many equal opportunity for both male and female young scientists in the future. So today I will start by looking back. What is the concept of atom in 19th century before Curie? That's, of course, as you know, that was laid the foundation by Dalton. Dalton's atomic theory laid down the foundation of chemistry in 19th century and also in later. Elements are made of tiny particles called atoms. All atoms of given element are identical. The atoms of given element are different from those of any other elements. Through this theory, chemistry can be think of a rearrangement of atoms, produce a lot of different chemical compounds. And many compounds are quite useful in medicine, in science, in industry. But through Marie Curie's work, this concept of Dalton's atomic theory, unchanging atom, has to be modified. Here, number 2, number 3, number 4, and 5, they have to be modified a little, because in Dalton's concept, atoms are unchangeable. All the elements has the same atom, but through nuclear science, now we know actually the nucleus can be changed, changing one element from one element to other. Also, in each element, not all atoms are really identical. You have the concept of isotope. So that gives us interest in looking into this history of how this come about. First, I should mention the discovery of X-ray, because this discovery of X-ray really kicked off the century of nuclear science. It was discovered at the end of 1895 by Röntgen, by German physicists. Through the cathode ray tube, he bombarded the cathode ray tube to the anode. He found the emission of electron. Of course, at that time he didn't know it's electron, but at a later time we know it's electron. And the bombardment and the target anode to find this radiation. There's a radiation coming off. And he didn't know what it is, so he named it X-ray. X means unknown. For example, X-file, okay? You name something unknown as X. And this is the first picture of X-ray photography. He put his wife's hand under the shining of X-ray, and you can see their wedding rings there, wedding ring. Okay, that immediately created a quite stirring, quite amazing reaction from scientists all over the world, because this is completely unprecedented and unknown. And obviously, it's very useful for medicine. X-ray image taken for medical purpose has been started since then. And nowadays, all hospital, dentist office has X-ray. Okay, you take X-ray for examination. Then, right after, just a few weeks later, very close, in 1896, French scientist Becquerel discovered of radioactivity. he was inspired by the work of Röntgen of X-ray. But he thought all fluorescence material, he thought that the fluorescent material induces, and it's known uranium ore gives fluorescence. So he took some uranium salt and wrapped up in black paper, so fluorescence would not come out. And then wrapped a silver chloride film into it. Without any light coming out from outside, he thought he would check whether is anything coming from inside. To his amazement, he found that this image, that's the first image of radiation coming from inside. Of course, at that time, he doesn't know what's about. He just assumed that uranium can give a fluorescence light from inside and give this. Then this is matter of quite people's amazement and curiosity. At that time, more people work on X-ray than this so-called radioactive elements, which people do not know what's happening. Then come Marie Curie. At that time, her name is Marie Skłodowska because she's a Polish girl from Poland. Her life started in Warsaw, Poland. She was daughter of school principal, school teacher. At that time, Poland was occupied by Russia and Germany. It does not have an independent state. And at that time, girls are not allowed to enter university. So Marie Curie, although she has excellent grades in high school, but after high school, she could not go into university in Poland. And also because her mother died earlier. Her mother died and the family is poor. She really doesn't have any chance, from other people's point of view, any chance to have a big dream to work on science. But she is determined. She had an agreement with her sister, older sister, say that we should go to Paris to learn science. We don't have any chance in Poland, we should go to Paris. So Marie Curie worked as a maid, a family tutor, but at that time the position family tutor is really a sort of family maid, quite low position. Live in other people's house and make money, send money to Paris for her sister study. She supported her sister as her first work. They have agreement between each other. After her sister graduated, get a job, and they will get married to Paris. So that's what it is. Then this is a letter, I quote from a letter she sent to her sister in Paris. She said, I have no dress except the one I wear every day. She had only one dress. If you are going to be kind enough to give me one, please let it be practical and dark. It need not be beautiful, just dark, so that I can put it on afterwards and go to laboratory. She worked in the laboratory for free, just to learn chemistry after work. Okay, so she spent a lot of effort in the nights to learn chemistry by herself. Then, 1891, her sister finished her degree study in medical, become a medical doctor, and sent for her. So here Mary came to Paris in that year. This is how it looks in Paris. You all, at that time, you already have Eiffel Tower. And that's the attic, the top floor, without heat in winter. That's where Mary lived. Had a harsh winter, really, because no heat. So she worked very hard toward science. She learned science in Sorbonne. That's how it looked today and that day. It doesn't change. Sorbonne is the best French university still nowadays. And this is a drawing of the young Marie Curie. After Sorbonne, she graduated. She thought that she wanted to study further in science. So she came to Pierre Curie, that's Pierre Curie, to work in Pierre's laboratory on something she doesn't know yet. They fall in love. They like bicycles, so they bicycle around the countryside. They later marry. Curie is in laboratory in 1896. At that time, Dr. Pierre Curie, that's her husband, was working on crystals. And she supposed to work on magnetic property of steel. For that reason, they got a good relation with a company that company has uranium ore. So they got a lot of uranium ore from the company. And then the later story is the big discovery of 2 elements coming out of that uranium ore. That's the laboratory they have at that time. It looks rather poor in modern standard, but Mary worked very hard in laboratory. You see, it's very hard to get polonium. As little as about 100 microgram, that is 0.0001 gram of polonium occurring in 1 ton of uranium. Marie Curie has the courage to work on this. Later in life, she said, by the end of 1897, I began to study uranium. It can give X-ray-like emission. Nobody knows what is X-ray-like. X-ray in itself is X, and then this is double unknown. But without the use of vacuum tube or any external energy source, how could uranium do this? She asked the right question. We choose for our work the ore pitch blende, that's a uranium ore, okay? When it's pure state, what Mary soon find out is that in this pure state, it's 4 times more active than oxide of uranium. So she believed there be something else in that uranium ore, something else which gave out even stronger radioactivity than uranium. So at that time, she guessed that maybe its maximum contained about 1% of the something unknown uranium. She didn't know that by the end, didn't know that even less than 1 millionth %. But she worked very, very hard on this to get this. She has to separate from this element called barium. Now we know barium is the element in periodic table just on top of radium. So it has similar property as barium and about only 0.003%. Through many years, he should work on this. Many years, daily life is recrystallization, separation, heating, all very boring job. When we finally get the 0.1 gram of radium. And later, when people ask, she said, if I have to spend my whole life to separate radium from barium, I would not regret. She would do it. That's the courage. Okay, so with that discovery, Marie Curie get her doctorate degree in 1903. This is the cover of her PhD thesis, her thesis cover. But at the same year, she got Nobel Prize, together with her husband, Pierre Curie, and Becquerel. There are not many doctor theses. I think this is the single one, doctor thesis, get the Nobel Prize the same year. Of course, then she became very famous immediately. It was quite amazing discovery. So she got Nobel Prize. This is the dress she has a Nobel Prize ceremony. And she got famous. The local magazine has her as front cover page. Okay. Later in life, she said, people asked, well, how do you succeed? How do you succeed? She said, nothing in life to be feared. It's only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more so that we may fear less. She associated her emotion, her motivation of discovery with not fearing anything. I think this is, I would say, unusual motivation. She said that people fear things, so are afraid to touch on new things, to make a new discovery. That's the inspirational lesson we all have. We can learn from this, okay? And her life now become very busy because she's a famous scientist, has to work very hard on new projects, but also at the same time, she had two daughters. This is the eldest daughter, and then later, the younger daughter, Irene. This is Irene. Later, I will mention Irene in my story also, because not only Curie, but also Irene get a Nobel Prize. In fact, 5 times in her family, Marie Curie get Nobel Prize not only once, but also twice. Second time is in 1911 for clarifying new radioactivity, what the radioactivity is, which I will explain later. And at the same time, very soon after, tragedy fall on her, big tragedy. On a rainy day in April of 1906, Pierre Curie was on the road crossing to a publisher's office to examine the copy, a preprint copy of of his work. When he crossed the road, he was run over by a horse carrier. At that time, there's no car, right? There's no car. So public transportation is by horse. And he fall down and break her skull. This is the picture I took just last year. The same place, exactly this place. He fall on this point, The horse car just make a turn and didn't see Pierre Curie camp. So a person lost her husband. At the same time, she has to raise very young two children. She has to deal with that. Then the later story I will skip. I will go through science to talk about her personal life. But almost 100 years later, she was inducted to the French, I don't know, 先贤士, Mussolini is for burial site for the most important French people is in center of Paris. It's delayed by 100 years, almost 100 years. In a sense, it's not fair. This again indicates because she's a female, and the induction was much delayed. Okay, now I come to the main point of Marie Curie's discovery. What's behind it? There's three revolutionary concepts. At that time, it's really revolutionary. First, she used radioactivity as new indicator for discovering new element. Before, all the elements on periodical table was not radioactive. So people would not associate as radioactivity as a criterion of discovering a new element. Second, radioactivity is property of atom. It gives off radiation, it gives off particles. It's independent of the compound, it's independent of chemical states, in a sense. And it's not influenced by external factors like temperature, pressure. That's what Curie claimed. Third, matter not only as a mass, but also a store of energy, because the whole thing gives out a lot of energy as a heat. So that's three fundamental revolutionary concepts. Then I want to come to the basics of what I mentioned the word radioactivity. Now, I'd like to talk about the rest of my talk about nuclear science, what Marie Curie discovered and what's being followed by other people's discovery. And that's the rest of the talk. Okay, radioactivity given out by a radioactive substance like uranium. It consisted of several types of particles. We call alpha, beta, and gamma rays. Okay. Again, at that time it's unknown, so they named after alphabets, alpha, beta, gamma. Alpha particle has a positive charge. In the electric field, it deflects to the negative electron. Beta rays has a negative charge, and the gamma ray has no charge. Okay, and the penetration ability of these three arrays are quite different. Alpha particle will not go through a paper, but the beta ray can, and but will stop by a hand or flash. But gamma ray has much deeper penetration, can go very deep. Also later, people find neutron. Neutron also has deeper penetration than alpha and beta. Let's have a review about what this radioactive particle are. We designate a nucleus. Those particles consist of nucleus, or various kinds of nucleus. We designate it by two numbers. One is atomic number Z, and the other is mass number A. Atomic number equals number of protons, so it's positive charge, number of protons in nucleus. And the mass number is the number of protons plus number of neutrons. So we give a symbol, this symbol on this block, for example, European, and we put A, that's the atomic number on the upper side. On the lower side, we give mass number. Mass number, that's the sum of proton and neutron. And X is the element symbol. Okay? For example, proton, we can write H11 or P11. P means proton, but actually it's the nucleus of hydrogen, so you write the symbol of H. So A and Z both are 1. For neutron, the mass number is 1, but there's no proton, so the atomic number is 0. And for electron, the atomic number is 0, but we write the Z atomic number as -1. I will explain later why we write this way, okay? That's beta. Later you find out beta ray is just electron, very rapid electron, okay? So electron can neutralize with neutron, with proton to get neutron. So neutron is 0 and proton is 1. So when they neutralize, it's -1. Positron is the antimatter of electron, of beta. So we write this way. That's positron. It has the same mass as the electron, but it has a positive charge. It's an antimatter, okay? And the Z number is +1. Alpha particle is just the nucleus of helium. So we write helium-4, 2. It has 2 protons and 2 neutrons. So atomic number of A is 4 and Z is 2. Okay? And in the atom, you have this nucleus and the electron surrounded. Electron is negative charge. So to have a neutral charge, the number of electrons has to be equal to the number of protons inside. Okay, proton carry a unit positive charge, 1. So number of protons, okay. So for example, cobalt, isotope cobalt, is mass number is 59 and atomic number 27. That means you have 22 neutrons in it. Okay. And then symbol of this can designate different isotopes. For example, carbon has actually three different isotopes: carbon 12, carbon 13, and carbon 14. By writing this way, you designate, okay, the atomic number and mass number. Radioactivity describes the spontaneous emission of particle or radiation, and through the process of nuclear transmutation. Transmutation can be induced by bombardment of nuclear by an external agent like neutron, proton, or other nuclei. And they are spontaneous. In addition to nuclear transmutation, there's spontaneous decay process, like the one coming out of uranium. They are alpha decay, like this one. Now I write in a nuclear reaction form. So 84 is atomic number of polonium. That's one discovered by Marie Curie. Oh, by the way, the name of polonium is named after her country, Poland. Poland. At that time, Poland is not a country. Marie Curie was quite patriotic. She believed in the independence of Poland, so she named this element as polonium. Okay, then it decayed to lead. You see, now you change from one element to other element through the emission of alpha particle. Notice that 4 plus 206 is 210. Okay, total number of mass number is conserved. 2 plus 82 is 84. The total number proton is also conserved. This is the alpha decay. In the beta decay, you emit an electron. As I said, we can have this symbol, beta 0 minus 1. Then you have neutron, nitrogen 14. So atomic number of nitrogen is 7. 7 minus 1 is 6. And 14 plus 0 is 14. So this is, all this type of decay was discovered by Marie Curie. Actually, the name radioactivity was used by Marie Curie. And positron emission, it's called positron emission, can be written this way, okay? Like carbon 11 can be boron 11, become boron 11 and the positron. Again, 0 plus 11, 11, and plus 1 plus 5 equals to 6. Okay, all this involves change of elements. So that's the fundamental discovery Marie made. And this process called beta plus or positron emission. I will skip this. So alpha decay example is this, okay, and the beta decay give you example of this. But here I have to mention, accompanying this whole process is a very small particle, very small mass, and neutrino coming out to carry the energy. And looking through this, you can actually see that a neutron inside an element nucleus can be changed to a proton, and that's how it changes atomic number, because accompanied with emission of beta ray. Okay, I will skip this. I'm going too slow. Gamma ray emission is an electromagnetic wave, which can be obtained by annihilation of a matter and antimatter, like a positron and an electron. And then spontaneous fission is an unstable element where it can be broken up. Unstable nucleus, broken up into two different nucleus with same time emission of neutron. That's later discovered by other people. Okay, and we just introduce here. And I'll skip this. Just mention that in the nuclear reaction, it became induced by bombardment of uranium-235 by neutron to break it up. So the previous page, I said this breaking up of nucleus can be induced by external neutron. At the same time, it gives two neutrons. Again, you can check whether atomic number and mass number are balanced. Okay, I will not go into details. And it can broken up in a way that all this conserved. Okay. Then we come to this thing about the stability of the nucleus. We know on all these elements before Marie Curie's discovery in Mendeleev periodic table are stable. So their stability is infinity. But let's find out what about the distribution of number of neutrons and number of protons. Okay, it goes this way. In very small number, the number of neutrons is about the same as in proton. But when you increase number of protons at a high number, you find out that you need more neutrons to balance. This is the so-called stability zone. Any nucleus you create outside this zone are unstable. They would give out either alpha emission or broke up into two nucleus. So nuclear stability has a special meaning. For example, with number of proton or neutron that equal this particular number is extraordinarily stable. It's more stable. You cannot change it easily by bombardment. And there are more isotopes with even number of proton and electrons. Okay, and then I will skip this, just saying that most elements are even number, odd number of electron, neutron are very few. Then we come to nuclear binding energy. For this nucleus of this fluorine-19, it consists of 9 proton and 10 neutron. But actually, the mass of this is not equal to the sum of the 2 proton neutron. There's a difference, mass difference. Later will come out, this we call binding energy. Through Einstein's E equal to mc squared, the balance of mass through the neutron, through mass energy equivalent. I will skip this. That's the equation. When you have a nuclear reaction, there's a small change of mass, but that converts into a huge number of energy, according to Einstein's theory of relativity. For example, in that fluorine example, this is the sum of proton and neutron, and this is the mass of fluorine neutron. There's a mass difference, and when that mass difference converts into energy, that's huge energy. This is just one nucleus. It becomes this number of joules. If you times by Avogadro's number 1 more, then the energy is huge. That's so-called binding energy. There's a relation of a curve tell you nuclear binding energy versus mass number. High number here is uranium 238, and low one here is H2, is deuterium. Okay, and here the highest binding energy is iron. That's why in the universe, you find lots of iron because it's most stable. So when nucleus are broken out from high end, it tends to stop here. Because when you have fusion, on the other hand, nucleus fusion it also tends just to end here to have a great energy emission. Okay. Then we come to the decay series. The radioactive element can decay in series from A to B to C to D, which was discovered in a few so-called decay series. Decay series, you start from a radioactive element and decay through a whole set of process. I'll give you one example here. It's a uranium-238 decay series, okay? You start from here, first alpha, beta, beta. When you give it alpha, you decrease the atomic number by 2 and mass number by 4. And beta, you don't change mass number, but you increase atomic number. Beta, beta, then alpha, alpha, alpha. Finally, you get a very stable one. Here is, I think it's red. My eye cannot see well. And here, the same series, but given with lifetime. Different process, different decay process has different lifetime. Some of the lifetime very long. For example, here is 4.5 billion years, the first process. That's why in the uranium ore, you still have lots of radioactivity. Why? Because the 4.5 billion years is about the age of Earth. So when they start with a lot of radioactive of Earth in the beginning of Earth, you still have about 1/2 left now. But the rest of the process has very short lifetime. So let me introduce you the concept of I should come to this page, or this page first. The concept of radioactive half-life time. All this radiation process give you exponential decay of activity, a decay curve. It's independent of temperature, pressure, or chemical states. So it's very constant. The lifetime, very constant. By half-life, you left with half of the radioactive element, and then by second half-life, you have 1/4, and so on. For example, cobalt-60, you have a half-lifetime as 5.26 years, okay? And cesium-137 has a long half-lifetime, 30 years. This you can use as archaeology dating, objective dating. You use different elements for different dating. For humans archaeology, that means the agricultural time, when humans started to have agriculture, it's about 10,000 years ago. And the carbon-13 has a half-life time. Carbon-14, I'm sorry. Carbon-14 has a lifetime of 5,700 years. So that's just a good time for examining the fossil, the leftover from beginning of human civilization. So we can use carbon dating for dating the things that's left, the living thing that's dead about 5,000 years ago, say, for example. The reason being that after the animal or the plant are dead, they stop exchange carbon-14 with atmosphere. In the atmosphere, the ratio of carbon-14 to carbon-12 is constant because the bombardment of from outside space of alpha, proton, and neutrons. So they have a constant ratio. But once it's dead, it stops exchange. And then it starts to decay. The ratio of carbon-14 becomes less and less and less. Then you can, from that, to figure out what's the age of that fossil. And radioactivity, of course, can be measured, for example, by a special instrument called Geiger counter. And then to designate the activity, we call 1 becquerel for the members of becquerel is 1 distinction of per second. And follow first order kinetics. Okay, and then this unit is much bigger. It's Curie, named after Curie. This is a simple exponential decay, as I just mentioned. Then I come to this story. By the time in the 1930s, Marie Curie is old. She stopped doing science. She became ill. But her eldest daughter, Irene, studied nuclear science with her and then worked on nuclear science together with her husband, Julio Curie. Julio Curie is also Marie Curie's student. They work on something called turning one element into another, creating radioactive nitrogen from boron. Okay, this is called nuclear transmutation. You see, in all Marie Curie's discovery, all these element change are natural, from natural all. But her daughter and the daughter-in-law, they found that by bombardment of aluminum-27 by alpha ray, helium 4, that's alpha ray, okay? It can change to a new element. That's what I mentioned before. I talked this first, not in historical order. At the same time, in this reaction, I'm sorry, it gives out a neutron. So this discovery immediately catch people's attention. People, first time, know artificial synthesis of element can be done, and with the same time emission of neutron. This is called nuclear transmutation. Okay, nuclear transmutation later can be done in alternative way, that is done by particle accelerators. In the 1940s, Lawrence made design and made a huge accelerator. The accelerator become bigger and bigger. Nowadays, the energy of accelerator is in giga electron volts. But at that time, it's mega electron volts. Anyway, through that, you can accelerate charged particle like alpha particle or beta ray to high speed, high energy, and then to hit the target. Okay, that's nuclear transmutation. That's an example here. And that's an example Irene Curie made. So at that same time, the great scientist, Enrico Fermi, the Italian, Fermi, together with Sergio, they found that you can make a transuranium element. That is, an element has a higher, at that time, the highest known atomic number is 92. But through this process, okay, you can make a 93. That's Neptunium. Okay, and that induced people to bombard different nuclei with neutron. And that's a huge a library of many different nuclear reactions. And people make lots of trans-uranium, the one after 92. Okay, after uranium, trans-uranium elements. Okay, here you have fermion in memory of fermion Einsteinium, and Mendeleevian is 101, Rutherford is 104, and Siberian is 106, in memory of American nuclear scientist Glenn Sieber and the boron. Then it comes the great discovery of nuclear fission. Nuclear fission gives out two nuclei together with 3 neutrons. That's discovered Hahn, Schwarzman, and Meitner. And then immediately people realize that you can make this distribution are two parts. You can make nuclear fission in many different ways and make a chain reaction out of it, chain reaction. Because it gives out more neutron than the incoming neutron. The incoming neutron has been slowed down, called slow neutron or cold neutron, in order to break up this uranium-235. And this discovery was made by Otto Hahn and Liz Meitner. Liz Meitner, another great female scientist. So you can have a chain reaction. And the chain reaction then releases out a huge amount of energy. If the mass is over a certain mass, it's called critical mass, the chain reaction. That is, in each step, the number of neutrons produced is greater than 2. Okay? And the chain reaction can be done either controllable or uncontrollable. Give out energy, of course, according to Einstein, E equal to mc squared. Equal to mc squared. Nuclear energy is a huge amount of energy. Let me skip this. Just tell you that compared to burning 1 ton of coal, 1 ton of coal, you need just 1 mole of uranium. That's a huge amount of energy. 1 mole uranium, you have much more than 1 ton of burning coal, 1 million times more. So, as the story goes on, it's during the Second World War. Both Germany and the United States realized this can be made into a bomb. It's an atomic bomb. And this is the first 2 atomic bomb model. By using subcritical uranium-235, when they hit each other by a conventional TNT explosive, is more higher than critical mass, and the chain reaction is uncontrollable, then they explode. Okay, and that's the explosion over Nagasaki. That has a great impact in World War II. But then people find out not only fission, nuclear fission, that is the breaking of nucleus, but also nuclear fusion can give you energy. Okay. Nuclear fission in a controllable ways, you use a moderator to control it. And that's the one used in a nuclear reactor. There are 2 types of nuclear reactor. One is in research type or in medical school where people make radioactive elements, okay? And that's a nuclear reactor. The other is in nuclear power plant. In the nuclear power plant, you have the nuclear reactor here, okay? All the fuel rods in here, then you have a control rod. Control rod, when it is inserted, you can absorb the neutron. Absorb neutron becomes the less, and the reaction cool down, slow down. So the reaction can be controlled. And it heat up the water vapor, and water vapor come to this to exchange heat with outside water and produce steam to go into power production, okay? Fissionable material, they're many, okay? Uranium-235, plutonium 296, 297, and so on. In the natural uranium, not enough uranium 35 can sustain the chain reaction. That's not enough. So it has to be concentrated. So this enriched uranium. For weapon grade, it has to be higher than 70%, but for reactor grade, for power generation, 3% is enough. I'll skip this. Let's see. A new type of reactor is called breeding reaction. That is, through a nuclear reaction, it produces more fuel, or producing more fuels through this process of changing original uranium-238 cannot be used for fuel. But through this process, you produce a fissionable material. It's plutonium-239. So this is called breeding. You produce more. Breeding reactor is one that being developed, but it's not a commercial use yet. I'll skip this. Here I should mention that nuclear power plant has not been popular in recent years because of the accident of Chernobyl and Japan's northeast nuclear power plant accident. But in the future, its future is uncertain. And in future, it's one thing you have to notice is the global warming. Our temperature, Earth's temperature has increased by 1 degree in last century. It's projected to increase further. And when you increase to 2 degrees, weather, the Earth's environment will become very, very bad. And there's many proposals for changing this. Sustainable energy like photovoltaic, like wind power, of course, being looked by many people, by us, by Taiwan also. But nuclear energy is carbon-free. It's carbon-free. So this, I think in the future, there's a position for nuclear energy in power generation also. Okay, I come to other application of nuclear energy. All this radioactive element can make damage to your tissue through the production of free radical. So it consists the basis of nuclear medicine to kill cancer cell, for example, okay? And also for nuclear image of, for example, your brain tumor. By putting a gamma ray source as through injection into your bloodstream, you go to your brain and it can make an emission to gamma rays because it's from positron. Actually, emission is positron, the element decay. Positron, as I say, is the antimatter of electron. So when the positron is emitted, immediately react with the electron to produce 2 gamma ray in the opposite direction. So by counting the time of arrival of 2 opposite rays, you can look where this emission source is. And this image gives you image of the brain tumor, called PET, positron emission. And then radioisotope, many radioisotopes available in medicine. For example, sodium-24, iodine-131, and so on. All this can be injected and to kill the tumor in various sites. For example, iodine-122 will go to thyroid gland and give beta emitter and kill the cancer there. Okay, so these are called nuclear medicine. And of course, they can do nuclear image at the same time. You can image your gland, thyroid gland. Radiotherapy of tumor, and by zapping tumors with proton or neutron, you can kill the cell and generate immune reactivity, and which kill further many more the tumor cell. All these in rapid events in research, and also now already in practice in medicine. And in agriculture, food storage can be much elongated by radioactive killing of bacteria, germs, so on. But not many people know that by using radioactive is a way to control the decay of food. Okay, finally I come to the last slide. I choose to talk on this particular subject because we tend to forget about the struggle of women, especially at the time of Marie Curie. Okay, more than 100 years, about 100 years ago, the struggle of women in science. But it's still an urgent issue today. And today, you look at scientists, female scientists, still much need to be developed. So this is a story about Marie Curie. It gives you inspiration. So I hope that you can take this as a take-home message. The second one is in 21st century, we tend to forget about the great progress of nuclear science in last century. Nowadays, people may be, for many reasons, afraid of nuclear chemistry, nuclear physics, but make a many great contribution to civilization. But also it's a big horror, a nuclear weapon. We have to learn to balance this. The third, dedication to science through hard work and thinking out of the box are necessary for breakthrough. The work of Marie Curie is a great example. She worked very, very hard, do 1,000 times of single experiment, repeat and repeat and repeat, worked very hard for her life. But at the same time, she was very creative. She was able to think out of the box, to realize many out of box thinking, to make discovery, great discovery. I think that's a lesson all us, especially for all the young scientists in this audience, you can learn. Okay, finally, welcome you to come to National Taiwan University if you have time. It's in the other side of the city. This place is in north side, but our university is in the south side. It has a beautiful, great campus. These days are beautiful. I welcome you. Thank you very much for your attention.
好，非常精彩，非常谢谢教授，请教授留步，然后继续坐在台上。所以再次谢谢院士的分享，相信在这么精彩而且精辟的演说当中，所有与会的贵宾以及同学们都已经从中得到了非常宝贵的启发，也对自己未来进行学习的信心跟方向也都会有帮助。那我们也知道，或许各位在听完演讲之后，心里可能有一些问题会想要向教授请教，所以现在我们就开放现场同学进行提问。如果有任何问题，我们都欢迎各位举手发问，机会非常的难得，大家一定要好好把握哦。So thank you again for an excellent speech. I'm sure that Professor Mo's talk has been insightful to all of you, and it's going to be helpful on your future endeavors as well. And I'm sure that a lot of you might have some questions after listening to this lecture. So if you have any questions, it's going to be a great opportunity for you to raise them and take this opportunity to answer those questions. So if you have any question, again, just raise your hand and we will have the microphones ready for you. 好，所以开放现场提问，有没有同学想要问问题的呢 ？Any questions? Don't be shy. 哎，我们看到后面有一位同学举手了。好。
Back to the point on the, I think it's the neutron and proton, the ratio of neutron and proton. I think it is reasonable that the ratio between neutron and proton becomes bigger when we consider the larger atom. But I still wonder that if it is exists a way or a formula for us to predict the ratio when we encounter the calculation of the ratio of the neutron and proton. Thank you.
Okay, that graph is for the mass number, the atomic number less than 90 or something. And the question is about how about it go further, whether it can make a prediction about stability. People argue about nuclear physics in particular, argue about the end of stability zone. It's uncertain where it ends. That means where will the periodical table stop? That's a question I think can only be answered by more experiment. Right now, the thinking is that this long area of stability zone was broken up into islands, in small islands, and by larger and larger atomic number, the island becomes smaller and smaller, and probably it cannot be stable at all. You cannot. Yeah. Notice that near the high side, all the stability is not really well. Some have the half-life time only seconds or milliseconds. So you cannot really synthesize and hold your hand and say, this is the new element. Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, 刚刚那位同学想要再追踪补问吗 Okay, a follow-up question.
Another question, but not a follow-up question. It's about the as you can see, we have got a lot of brilliant female researchers here. But as I know, there's a low ratio, a low proportion of free female in those departments like physics or mathematics. So, what do you think that restrict the female in the modern days in the science area?
Right now, in many parts of the world, including in Taiwan, there's no restriction of female. It's the aspiration, the internal aspiration itself that's being stopped. So this can be done through more education, more inspirational talk, more support. You see, nowadays, like in Taiwan, we have more female students than male because boys tend not to care much about grades. You know, they have poor grades. Like in my department, the number of graduate students in graduate school, that means that beyond the bachelor's degree, there are more female students than male. But then later, I think there's many other blocks. Personal inspiration, aspiration, also social support. You see, they have marriage. When the marriage comes, often duty, family duty is heavily toward the female. The raise of children. So the society has to make more support for child support, for example. Nowadays, the young people don't have kids. When they have kids, it's mother that take care more. So all the boys listen well, so we need to be supportive. Okay, that's my answer.
Okay, thank you for your question and thank you for your answer. I think it is very important. Yes, we need to encourage more females to enter into the field of science, and that's why it's very important for us to have this event today. Okay, any other questions? Oh, we have one in the front.
Dear Professor, as I understand, you've actually said that it is very important to have a energy preserve or generated by using all the nuclear reactors, etc., would be much more preferable in terms of the damages that is done to the nature. What is the strategy here in Taiwan? Because you have a big population that's maybe growing. I don't know whether you're going to, keep on. Will it be more preferable for Taiwan to have more nuclear reactors, or energy actually derived from the nuclear?
Actually, that's a dangerous topic in Taiwan. Yeah. People in Taiwan know that that's a danger. People have either pro or cons in the very opposite direction. Present government is against nuclear energy. They want to end nuclear power by say 10 years from now. Because the big problem I didn't mention because limited time. There's a big problem about the of the waste, nuclear waste. How do you handle that? Taiwan is too small to handle that. So that's the big pro and the cons. Unfortunately, I seem to talk too much on the pro side because I really think the global warming is a great problem we have to face. So in the future, that both has to be considered. But for long-term human development, say, for example, 100 years, 200 years later, probably the problem of nuclear waste can be treated very well because the technology is developing. If that problem is solved, basically solved through, for example, breeder reactor, you use much less fuels and you produce less waste. I believe in 200 years, maybe nuclear energy will be still there, but in a very new form, not present. The present technology is too dirty. So I should give another talk to talk about solar energy. Then you may think that solar energy will become more important. Taiwan present government is very much into supporting solar energy. We big wind power farm in Taiwan Strait now. It's the first in Asia. I think that's becoming bigger and bigger, and get wind power from sea. On the sea, in Taiwan Strait is very, very high. So there's another possibility. The energy problem is a matter of choice and how much you want to pay for it. At present, solar energy is very expensive still. Nuclear energy is there, but my thinking is in the very, very long term, human being can benefit from nuclear energy. Thank you.
Okay, again, thank you for the question and the answer. Again, I think it echoes back to the event that we have today. How do we balance energy security with environmental impacts and also the costs? That's why we need all of you here today, our brilliant young scientists, to figure out a way and save the future for humankind. Again, that's very important. Okay, any other questions? Okay, we have one in the back.
Thank you very much, dear Professor. I'm a scientific teacher from Jingo Senior High School. Sorry. My question is that since there are so many young independent researchers, they just start their research life. So would you please kindly advise them what are the advice you will provide to them about when they are keep doing research? Thank you very much.
Okay, that's a good question from a high school teacher. She's concerned how to encourage or how advice I can give to young future scientists. You see, young people has to discover one thing in himself or herself. So, what is your ability, your great advantage? Some people are good in mathematics. Some people are very good at hand building instruments. Some people are good at collaboration, working with many people. Different people has different talents. For young people, the first thing you need to find out is where's your advantage, what is your talent? Use your talent. You'll become very interested. People will become much more motivated because they can succeed in that. Nowadays, so many people competing out in the world, right? And you have to ask yourself, what I can do? What is my ability? Where is my ability? That's, I think, very important. But how? You have to use all the opportunity to do things. You do this, you do that, you come to science fair, you make a competition in mathematics, you do whatever, you try things. You may fail. You may fail many things, but finally you will find one special ability that you are better. You're better than other people. I think that's important. For application, the use of the word is another thing considered, but I think that's for older people, for people like in the 40s, 40 years old. They have to realize not just what you can do, also to have to ask what society needs, right? But my advice to young people in this audience is that not think about what society needs for a moment. You just don't need to think, oh, the society needs a good solar energy specialist, so I'm going to work on solar energy. You don't need to do that particularly. You need to find out where's your ability, where's your interest. I think that's to know yourself. I think that's important thing. And you need to come to many opportunities. When people has a fair of science or things, or just even in the house, you maybe have opportunity to do some experiment. You just try things. You'll find out, not because you want to make a big discovery, but because you need to find what's your ability. Okay.
好，谢谢。Okay, thank you for the answer again. I think it's again very important to find your passion and love what you do rather than just think about what I can do to make money or what I can do to really contribute. It's just follow your heart, and I'm sure you can succeed. Okay, any other questions? We still have time for one more question, so last opportunity. Anyone want to take it? "好，如果没有的话 ，if there are no further question， 让我们就再一次热烈的掌声，谢谢我们魔院士为我们带来精彩的演说。Thank you, Dr. Mo, for the excellent talk。今天再次的感谢所有的来宾，还有老师以及同学们的参与。2019年台湾国际科学展览会开幕典礼暨大师讲座到此圆满结束。Thank you all again, all the teachers, students, and participants for participating in today's opening ceremony and keynote speech. 再次谢谢大家的莅临，谢谢，同时也预祝此次所有参赛的同学都可以获得佳绩。So again, thank you all, and I wish you all very good results on your competition on the science fair this year. 好，谢谢大家 ，Thank you. 那么最后some housekeeping items， 请各位记得携带随身的物品。So please do remember to take your personal belonging with you when you leave the venue。那请参展同学由 B 楼梯下到 B1 参加学生交流午餐会。So all the participating students, you can take stairwell B down to B1 for the luncheon。那么参加领队还有外国教师交流会，要参加的老师则是搭 I 电梯到5楼参加。And all the chaperones and all the teachers who would like to participate in their